Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, and we are pleased to be joined by a good friend of the channel, Mason Maggio of Rick Ware Racing, who competes in the Carolina Pro Series National. God, I hope I got that right. Okay, good. So also is going to be testing an ARCA car for Andy Jankowiak. How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. The news was kind of revealed, not on my own terms, but on ARCA's terms. But hey, it was going to come out sooner or later. So,
well, they actually didn't
fun.
mention the team that you were going to run. So they just mentioned that you were going to be in the ARCA test, but obviously it's a TBA until you told me that it was the Andy Jankowiak team. How'd that get all put together?
Yeah, so it was kind of on our radar this year in particular. The general manager and the person that runs the short track program or is in charge of that for Rick Ware Racing, JR Courage, he was telling me, he was like, me and my dad, that the ARCA test would be a great avenue to, get approved and learn and get experience, if we ever hope to move up the ladder at some point. And so, suggested to us Andy Seiss, who's working with Andy Jankowiak with the ARCA stuff. So we got in contact with Andy Seiss and started talking more about that stuff, and then eventually led to talking with Andy J, and went from there. And now we got the seat to do some ARCA tests. I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sharing it with Andy. So Andy Jankowiak, excuse me.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Daytona has always been a track I've dreamed of racing on or testing on, or just, getting to experience. So looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll have some good speed.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I know we were talking about, testing a big time stock car. Would that be the first time you ever got in a stock car?
In a NASCAR sanctioned series stock car?
Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. This will be my first time. Yeah.
How exciting is that? Because this has been something that you've always wanted to do.
Yeah, it's it's always been something that I've been intrigued with, specifically with the ARCA test. I've had friends that have gone and have done that and told me all the cool avenues, even for just test, and just to be in the same garage area as a lot of these bigger teams and these bigger names at, one of North America's most popular racetracks. So, it's a dream come true for me to be able to get to run laps at Daytona and, get a taste of what it's like to, be in a big series and be a part of something that's a lot bigger than I am. That's for sure.
Yeah. What do you want to learn? What do you want to accomplish while you're there?
Yeah. So, I think the biggest thing for me is just getting accumulated to the speed. I don't think it's usually not a problem for me on the short tracks, but Daytona is a 2-mile racetrack. You're holding it wide open. It's definitely going to be different from what I'm used to. So just getting used to that. And then just learning throughout the weekend, what's just all around, I believe is huge for me. So I think all around, I just really want to take in the experience, learn as much as I can through everything. And hopefully if I ever get another opportunity down the road, the test will help me in the future.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about this. Have you ever been to Daytona?
I haven't been to Daytona to drive, obviously, but I've been going as a fan for the last couple of years. I've been to the 500, been to the 400 race in July. So, but to actually get to drive on the high banks of Daytona, it's going to be a first for me.
And of course, you're in and you live in the state of Florida. So, Florida kid, Florida track, that's got to be it. That's got to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super cool, to race somewhat close to home is nice. It's super cool to think that the Florida kid is gonna finally run at one of the biggest and one of the coolest facilities in North America. So yeah, it certainly hits home. I know I got a handful of people that on my family that are going to go to that one and get to experience it. So excited to have them there, excited for the opportunity. And, hopefully this Florida kid will get more opportunities down the road to prove himself on a higher standpoint.
All right. Let's talk about like what's gonna hit you like, holy crap, I'm racing at Daytona.
Probably when I come onto the front stretch, I think that's when it'll probably hit. I mean, as of right now, it still hasn't hit me that I'm even going to Daytona to be in an ARCA car and go 175, 180 miles an hour around the high banks. I mean, I don't think it'll truly set in until I'm in the car and making laps. So I think when I come onto the front stretch and it'll probably sink in when I'm going on the front stretch at Daytona. I think that's when it'll really hit me hard. Like I said before, I've spent so many years watching from the grandstands or on TV, and now to finally be able to make laps around that historic racetrack is it's going to hit like no other experience has.
All right. Well, Mason Maggio, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. And enjoy that test at Daytona this weekend, bud.
Oh, trust me, I will. I appreciate you having me on, Casey.